This is Taversia. She's an influencer, and she has successfully influenced me never to touch TikTok again. She and her domestic partner are on the hook for 20 grand in back rent on their $5,000 per month house. It appears that Taversia and her partner scammed a couple by having an outright sale fall through last minute and convincing the sellers to let them move in on a month-to-month lease.
Jared Lepic versus Andrew Elliott. And well, Jared Lepic and Jordan Lepic versus Andrew Elliott and Taversia, is it Burrell?
Taversia Borelli.
TikTok says I gotta do a brand advertisement thing. This is starting to look a little problematic. We better finish that soon.
And I think I have that. Okay. So plaintiff, how much are you claiming the defendants owe?
We are asking for $21,285. On top of that, we would like to demand for possession.
I'm not here for a bag. I'm here for free stuff. I do get a cut, full transparency. It's just not enough for me to care.
And a money judgment for
How much are you requesting in rent?
$21,285.
How much is monthly rent?
$5,000 with a late fee of $1,000 not paid after the first, $2,000 late fee not paid after the seventh.
Okay, I can tell you right now, those late fees are illegal. So how much?
That is it. That is in our lease. So this was.
I understand. I understand it's in your lease. I'm trying to let you know as gently as I can right now that I'm not enforcing that late fee.
Okay. So, in your honor, I totally understand. This was not actually intended to be a lease. They had purchased the home and the house sale fell through 2 days before we decided, or before we went into closing, and they had asked to move in. We said, if you pay the mortgage, we drew up a lease based off of them purchasing the home. And this is where we're at. So what happened is then they just stopped paying. And now
how much do they owe in rent?
So it was a $5,000 for 4 months. So that would be a total of $20,000.
And Your Honor, we're asking that February be paid since our lease was a 4-month term, and they have not paid a single payment so far.
And we also missed out on listing the home again because they have refused to not leave.
We've gotten screenshots of proof of funds. We've also been told that ACH has been sent. We received a tracking number at one point that actually never registered with the U.S. Postal Service. And so there's been a lot of like, we're going to pay, and we have yet to receive anything.
Okay, so I can do nothing with February because February's not due. That's the first thing.
If they're still by then, how does that work?
There won't be. We're leaving. We'll be out by the 1st.
Okay, you say you'll be out by the 1st?
Correct. Yes.
How come not by next week then, if you're leaving?
I was told in text messages from Jared Lepic that we have until we can finish out the month.
So you'll be out by the 30th. You'll be out by the 31st.
Right.
And you will give them keys?
I can arrange that, yes.
All right, so here's what we'll do, because there are two issues here. One is going to be the money, one is going to be possession.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to adjourn this out to the 31st, 2025 at 12 p.m. That will be in person in the court. I'm going to expect that if you have not surrendered the keys, that you will be in court and in a position to surrender keys to the Lepics at that point. Okay. Then we'll look at what money's there, because then that doesn't run, and we'll figure out what's owed and how that's going to be paid.
I will say we're moving to Seattle, Washington. I will make plans to appear in court in person, but depending on what our living situation is, then it might complicate my ability to show in person. Is there any recourse?
Ma'am, you need to get them the keys.
Oh, I can easily get them the keys regardless.
Okay,
So
they
we are
need the
located-
keys.
It'll be before the court,
Before what?
before the court that is being adjourned.
Okay. And then I may permit you to appear via Zoom if you're out of state, but
Okay,
they need their keys.
of course. Thank you.
Sir, we are also located out of state. We're currently living in North Carolina.
I'm sorry to hear that, but no, I'm kidding. I'm just an old Maryland guy that doesn't like North Carolina, but I really do. It's actually a nice place. Okay, so everybody's out of state. So, ma'am, how are you going to get the keys to them?
They had someone come and give me a new key when they locked me out of the property. There was an illegal lockout that I was subject to. I've got one key that I can return.
All right, I want the key returned.
I can do that.
And then once the key's returned, then both parties may appear via Zoom on the 31st, and then we can figure out the rest of this.
That sounds great.
But I want them to have possession
Of the key.
of the key, which will give them possession of the premises.
Right. Okay, thank you.
All right?
Yeah, we have a manager that they can get the key to.
All right, that's fine. Then everybody can appear via Zoom. So I'll see everybody on the 31st at 12 noon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it? All right, 14A stands in recess.
Please take a second to hit the subscribe thingy. It's free, and it will help you and others find more great Law Nerds content. I certainly appreciate it.
Court calls the case, the people are Jared Lepick versus Andrew Elliott.
Hello, Your Honor. I'm Jordan Lepick. I'm also on this case. Jared Lepick
Yes.
unfortunately was diagnosed with influenza A this morning, so he has his Zoom going and can mic in if need be, but he's got very little of a voice left at this point.
Okay, all right. And yes, I do see him signed in. All right. Andrew Elliott or Taversia, is it Burrell?
Taversia Borelli.
Okay, sorry.
That's
All right. Okay, what are we doing on this case?
Last week, sir, you had asked that they be out of the house before the hearing today. And as of right now, they're still moving stuff out of the property. There are still people on property, including a couple of unauthorized additional roommates that weren't included in the lease. And we have yet to get in contact with Mr. Elliott. He is the named person on our lease. So we would just like to see what his status is. We haven't heard from him since the 7th. And the last thing we received from him in writing was an email admitting to the debt owed and the wrongdoing on his part, stating that he can provide the court of a copy with this email. In his own words, he states, "We will obviously not refute what you are owed. We have no intention to. We would honor the court decision of the debt, which would additionally include legal fees. Given our contract is under the laws of Michigan, there is very little that can be garnished as the bulk of my earnings are earned as independent contractor." In this email, he proposed a payment plan that we were uncomfortable with agreeing to because he's offered us specific payment arrangements over the last.
Can I stop you, please?
Absolutely.
All right. How much are you claiming is owed?
So as of right now, he owes $15,000 plus court costs of $234.43. If I may, could I give you like 90 seconds of backstory, sir?
Not really.
Okay.
Your Honor,
I
if I
don't
may.
know that I'm necessarily going to need it.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you moving out?
Yes, we've returned the key. I have a couple of friends currently helping me move out the remaining things. I'm actually at the U-Haul Center right now, and they are getting the rest of the items out presently under the supervision of the land manager.
Okay. So, and ma'am, are you disputing the amount they're claiming is owed?
I am.
You are?
Yes, I am. We
Okay.
owe.
How much do you think you owe?
So we owe December and January. That's 10,000. We paid a $1,000 late fee in November and a $2,000 late fee in September and October. We believe that these should be subtracted from the total owed due to illegality of those fees. Also, we were subjected.
How much is monthly rent?
Your Honor, monthly
5,000.
rent is $5,000 a month. This is a 4,000 square foot house that we were under contract for them to purchase. And we have done a series of short-term leases as they were waiting on the sale.
Okay. So here's the thing. Is she right about, she just listed off, I think, $4,000 of late fees that they paid.
No, sir, that is incorrect. Those were from the previous lease. See, at first we did a 60-day lease, and then we extended that once their house was not sold. So we have 2 prior leases to this short-term lease, and we only enforce late fees on one of the months under those leases. And I can submit documentation of all this, sir.
So can I.
All right.
I do have claims that ACHs were sent that were never received to my account, sir, as well as proof of funds that I received in December and no payment was made out of that. The last communication I had about a payment arrangement was on December 13th, and I was informed by Mr. Elliott that day that his wife had sent an ACH. However,
Okay, look, folks. Oh, ma'am.
Yes.
Here's what's going to happen. What date are you going to be out of the premises?
We're already out.
Your stuff
You're
is still
already out.
Right.
Your stuff-
they're in
And
the
they
pro-
have surrendered the
It's in the
keys?
yes, and it's in the process of being removed as we speak. So we are out. It'll be another hour or two, I think, before it's all of our stuff is gone.
So then the only issue is what's owed.
Right. I also want to bring up, if I may, Your Honor, we were subjected to a wrongful lockout, so we are due 3 times damages of the $150 for a locksmith as outlined in Michigan's anti-lockout statute, totaling $450, which I also have evidence of.
Okay. All right,
Your
look, folks.
Your Honor, I'm
Yes.
in a rent house because they failed to pay rent. I have 6 children. These people make $350,000 a year is what they claimed on the rental application. I'm going to lose health insurance tomorrow, and my house is going into a foreclosure period as of tomorrow is 90 days late. They have money. They had subletters or whoever living with them, and I don't know if they were running a homeless shelter, if they were pocketing the rent that their roommates paid. They've
No.
just been sitting in my house, sir.
This is incorrect.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Possession has been granted. There are 2 parts to the case. Possession's been granted or surrendered to the plaintiff. So possession is not,
Sorry.
pardon?
There are still people at the house. One of them had a residence established there apparently. They're still at the house, and unfortunately our property manager expired at noon today, as it is the last day of the month. So any clean out of anything left behind, I'm going to have to go assess for any damages left on my own next week.
All right. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. They've surrendered possession of the unit. Ma'am, to your knowledge, are there people in the premises?
Yes, there
Ms.
is.
Burrell, are there people still in the premises?
I don't know. I would have to text them. I don't know if they're on the premises presently, but we were told that we could get the remainder of the items out. So they would be doing that if they are not presently at the U-Haul Center where I am now. I'm
Okay,
just
so
using
here's
my
what I'm
phone
gonna
to do
do.
this.
Possession to the premises has been surrendered. Ma'am, as of given everything that I'm hearing, your management contract expires, what, at midnight tonight? Is that the deal, or?
Yeah, yes. And we can't afford to pay
All
a
right.
property manager anymore.
Hang on. I hear you. I'm just trying to, because you're in North Carolina, right?
Yes, sir. But I will have to make a
Okay.
trip up to North Carolina to assess anything
I
left.
I know. I'm just, I guess you're out of state. You've got a property manager here that won't be the property manager tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So what? I should let you guys talk and then I'll just go back and then come back out. Because either you're going to listen to me or not. Possession's been surrendered. I'm going to give the authority, I'm going to grant to the plaintiff the authority to prevent waste under 4.201I, that you may lock and secure the premises effective 3:00 today. The reason I'm doing that is so that you can get your property manager, go over there. You can order a locksmith. You can change the locks at 3 p.m. today. Whatever else needs to get out, if you don't get it out by that time, you said you surrendered, you're giving them the keys, they giving you grace to get some of the stuff out. If it's not out, not out.
That's
But the
perfectly fine, Your
premises will
Honor.
be locked.
Thank you.
Then the issue regarding the money is going to have to be done. Now, I might as well, because the parties don't seem to agree, set this matter for trial. You have to come up next week. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so trying to time this, if you come up, how long are you going to be up here?
Very short amount of time, sir, as I have children in North Carolina in school. So a day.
Okay.
Enough.
So if I I was just gonna set this for a trial. So I can set a trial date, but I'm gonna need the parties in person because apparently there's gonna be a lot of documentation. So I'm trying to set it. So here's what I'll do. Because we're really talking about the money, but we got to get the premises secured first. So we've dealt with that. What's my date? March the 4th? The 11th. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a non-jury trial as to the money issues for March 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m. That's in person. So I've tried to set that, ma'am, I tried to set it out far enough so that you could make arrangements or do what needs to be done to come up. We'll hear it that day. So if it has to be a one-day trip, it's a one-day trip. But I've just tried to put it out to, well, I think you get what I'm saying. Okay?
Absolutely.
But I'm allowing you to secure the premises. You're going to come up here, check on it. That way you can assess what damages or other things there may be there. Bring ledgers, all other documentation you want the court to look at on March 11th, and then we'll hear your case. Okay?
Your Honor, might I ask one question?
Sure.
Rather than pushing it out, I can make arrangements. I will make it work. Like I said, we're actually going into a 90-day foreclosure period tomorrow. And so time is kind of of essence.
Got it. Then the best I could do is the 18th. What day? Yeah. But the best I could then do is February 18th. I could push it up to that day. Will that be better for you?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
So non-jury trial in this matter then will be set for February 18th. 2025, 9 a.m. Okay?
And one more question. Will Mr. Lepek have to appear as well, or will me be appearing sufficient just because he can't afford time off of work right now?
Well, he might want to have himself, if you're here, he may want to have himself. I will allow understanding childcare, work, those things. I would allow him to appear via Zoom.
Thank you. And as far as
so
Mr.
that
Elliott,
he's present,
Okay.
but you will have to be here in person.
Understood. And Mr. Elliott?
He needs to appear. If he doesn't appear, then I do what I got to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor,
Thank you.
may I ask a question?
Sure.
My partner might not be able to get off work either, but I can show up. Is that a problem?
I will give you the same. Okay. I will give you the same opportunities that I give the other side in fairness. So you may appear, but he would have to be available via Zoom.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoy watching this content, please like and subscribe. It helps new channels like this one gain exposure. There is a lot more good court to come, so if you like what you saw, tell your friends. If you didn't, tell me and let me know what you'd like to see and how I can improve. Thanks.